India is a country in South Asia. It is the seventh largest country by area, the second most populous country with over 1.2 billion people, and the most populous democracy in the world. It is bounded by the Indian Ocean on the south, the Arabian Sea on the southwest, and the Bay of Bengal on the southeast. We will be now looking at a Pecha Kucha surrounding India. As you can see, this is a graph showing the population growth of India. This graph resembles an exponential J curve. The population growth rate of India is 1.2% per year. Although this may seem like a small amount, considering the massive population of India, this is a lot. This is a graph that shows the differences between the death rate and the birth rate of those living in India. The current crude birth rate is 20.4 people per 1,000 in the population. As you can see from the graph, the birth rate is outpacing the death rate, which is a major problem.
See from this graph and the rule of 70s, India has a high population, and it also has a high population growth rate. And looking at this, we can see that doubling time after being calculated is around 36, which is a relatively high average for the amount of doubling times compared to other countries.
On this slide, we are talking about the birth rate of children per woman. On average, there are 2.40 births per woman in India. As you can see, there is an existing trend throughout this graph. The birth rate per woman is constantly decreasing as contraception becomes more available to those in need. This slide talks about the trends in child mortality and infant mortality. There is a continual trend in the decrease of these activities as things are becoming more and more modernized. The IMR declined from 79 per 1,000 live births to 58 per 1,000 live births in India. Though India had a notoriously low life expectancy, over the years this has continually risen. As you can see, there is a slow rising trend in the graph aforementioned. Life expectancy started off at 42.3 in 1960 and has risen all the way to 64.7 in 2007. Major problem in India is the rampant cases of diseases visible. India has been suffering through epidemics of malaria and polio. This is as a result of stagnant water bodies being nests and homes to creatures that are vectors such as mosquitoes. This is a problem that needs to be stopped. As visible from the population and age distribution graph, the majority of India's population are youth and young children. This is very similar to Nigeria's population composition. This pyramidal structure means that the population is in rapid growth. This slide shows the trends in birth rate, death rate, and the rate of natural growth in India. This is used to show the demographic transition stage of India. India is currently undergoing the third demographic transition stage, which is the industrial stage, which is characterized by increasing population with declining birth rates and low death rates.
From reliable contraception has exploded since the mid-12th century. An estimated 55% of all heterosexually active women now use modern contraceptive methods, while an additional 7% use the less reliable traditional methods. As the use of birth control has spread, fertility has plummeted from a global average of 5 to around 2.5 today. It is expected to decrease as the immigration rate is higher than that of the emigration rate, which can be seen through this graph. And as the years have progressed, the emigration rate has decreased and the immigration rate has increased, causing the net population to decrease, further lowering India's population. Countries are catching up to already developed countries in terms of sharing the world GDP. The population, mobile phones, and other such things are taken by developing countries. India takes 5% of the world's primary energy. And as we can see through the rest of these graphs and such, China and other countries are also following up on the world population energy. The ecological footprint has doubled since 1961. It is outgrowing the biocapacity of India. Based on study, New Zealand estimates a total of 2.5 million affluent households in India, which 2.2 belong to the upper middle segment. This causes India to be one of the more affluent countries in the world. That expresses the idea of environmental impact. India has been an increasing world population and is the second most populous country in the world, along with a medium amount of affluence. With great advancements in technology, it's been given a very high iPad. Is increased consumption per person. This means that more resources will be used by people. And this kind of shows in India how every different household tends to use more and more stuff. So, say one household in the previous years may have used very limited things, they might have more people now and increasing their usage. 75th in a list of 102 countries ranked from best to last in terms of human impact on the environment. In India, with 1.7 tons of carbon dioxide per capita being generated, 0.34 kilograms of municipal solid waste generated per person, and 19.75 BTU of energy consumption. Indian population are young children and youth. This means the population is rapidly growing, as visible from the comparable trend of Nigeria. This can be referred back to as the third demographic state, where the birth rates are very relatively high and the death rates are decreasing. Variety of people and culture and places all over this entire country. There's always a hustle and a bustle everywhere you go. The country is growing and is becoming a superpower. The varied locations around the world are competing with this particular country for world dominance, and this can be seen through its rich culture and immense power. India is one of the more affluent ones because of its large impact on the environment, immense population, and growing population. But India also is proven to be one of the more impactful countries in our world. With the rich culture and strong government, it's proving to be one of the more superpowers of our world, and soon to be a not developing country.